Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. Place a 2-pound or 900-gram piece of pork on a board. Make even slices as shown in the video. Salt well, don't be shy. It wakes up the natural flavor of the meat. Then pepper, just enough for a gentle warmth. Add 2 teaspoons of paprika. And 2 teaspoons of coarse dried garlic. They'll bring a cozy aroma without taking over. Rub thoroughly with your hands so the seasonings are well distributed. It's a little messy, but that's where the love goes in. Pour olive oil over the pork, letting it sink into the seasoning. It keeps the meat tender and glistening when it cooks. Then, rub it in with your hands, making sure the oil and spices coat every slice. Between each slice of pork, slide in a piece of bacon. Let it fit snugly so every bite gets that smoky, savory touch. You can almost smell how good it's going to be already. The kind of cozy, hearty meal that makes any day feel special. Friends, it's wonderful to know where you're watching from. Share your city and country, and US friends, tell me your state as well. Now, grab the mozzarella and cut it into small pieces. Soft cheese melts better and keeps everything tender. Feel free to ask any questions about the recipe in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. Slip those pieces in just like the bacon, tucking them in gently so they melt right into the meat. Once all the slices are filled, tie the pork with kitchen string, keeping everything neat and tight. As you pull the string around it, it feels like wrapping up a warm homemade gift, full of love and comfort, ready for the pan. Once all the slices are filled, tie the pork with kitchen string, keeping everything neat and tight. In a frying pan, melt 1/2 stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking it. It's a simple way to show your support. As it starts to bubble softly, drop in a sprig of rosemary. Slice a garlic bulb in half. And add it right in, skin and all. This way, the flavor stays gentle and sweet. Let them sizzle together for a couple of minutes, just until that rich aroma fills the air. Then lift them out. Their work is done. Gently lay the pork into the pan and hear that beautiful sizzle. That's the sound of something delicious happening. Turn it slowly, 3 to 5 minutes on each side, until it turns golden and glossy. Line your baking tray with foil while the pork finishes browning. Then lift it gently from the pan. Place the pork onto the tray. In a small bowl, stir together 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of grain mustard. Mix thoroughly. Brush it all over the pork right away. While it's still warm, it soaks in better. Friends, for more content like this, Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any new recipes. Wrap the pork tightly in foil. Sealing in all that goodness, and slide it into the oven for 1 hour at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Finely chop 1 fresh cucumber, taking your time with the knife. That crisp sound and clean scent always bring a bit of summer into the kitchen. Drop it into a bowl. Then dice 2 or 3 ripe tomatoes. Their sweet juice balances the cool crunch perfectly. Add them in. And move to a bright bell pepper. Slice it into small cubes. Its color and that soft, fruity aroma instantly make the dish look cheerful. Toss it in with the rest. Then chop a handful of green onions, sharp and fragrant, adding that little spark of flavor and a boost of freshness. In a small bowl, stir together a tablespoon of sour cream and 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix until smooth and silky. Pour that creamy dressing right over the vegetables and gently mix. The colors shine, the scent is fresh and light. Like those simple salads that used to sit on every family table in summertime. Now, cut 5 or 6 potatoes into small, even cubes, steady, calm cuts, so they cook evenly and stay tender. drop them into a pot. Pour in enough water to cover. Add a teaspoon of salt. Give it a quick stir so the seasoning spreads through every piece. Then cover the pot with a lid. Let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Next, finely chop one onion, letting the knife fall slowly and rhythmically. That calm, steady motion keeps the slices even and draws out that gentle sweetness onions are known for, along with all those natural antioxidants that help keep you strong through the seasons. Now, melt a small piece of butter in a pan. And when it starts to bubble, add the onion. Stir as it softens and turns golden, releasing that smell everyone loves. Check your potatoes. If they're tender, drain them and slide them straight into the pan. Stir everything together so the potatoes soak up that buttery onion flavor. Then, chop a handful of fresh parsley, bright, crisp, full of life, and toss it into the pan. Stir fry for a few more minutes, just enough for everything to come together. The colors, the scent, the sound. It's the kind of moment that feels quietly perfect. Take the pork from the oven. Unwrap it carefully and breathe in that rich, savory aroma. Slice it slowly. The knife glides through the meat, tender and juicy inside. Place a slice on the plate. Add a generous spoonful of those golden potatoes with onion and parsley, and finish with a scoop of the creamy, crisp salad. The pork is rich and flavorful, the potatoes soft, but with a little bite, and the salad adds that cool, refreshing balance. It's the kind of meal that doesn't just taste good, it feels like home, warm and full of care, the way food should be. Thank you for cooking with me today, but that's not all. I have a second equally delicious recipe for you. 1 pound, or about 450 grams, of ground beef crack in 1 egg. Sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of salt for balance. 1 teaspoon of black pepper for warmth. 1 teaspoon of paprika for that gentle smoky glow. 1 teaspoon of oregano. Finally, mix in 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Now grate 1 onion, take your time, let the rhythm of the grater fill the kitchen. As the onion starts to release its sweet, familiar scent, it feels like a whisper from home. The sound of grating, the aroma rising in the air. Once it's all grated, add the onion to the bowl with the meat. Next, grate 2 cloves of garlic on a mini grater. That warm, slightly spicy scent pairs perfectly with the beef. Garlic doesn't just add flavor, It brings a touch of goodness too, rich in antioxidants that help keep you strong when the days get colder. Add it to the bowl. Finally, chop a small bunch of fresh parsley, bright, fragrant, full of color and life. I love how parsley lightens everything it touches. Its freshness cuts through the richness of the meat and adds that hint of green that makes any dish look alive. Add it in. Then gently mix everything by hand. Feel the texture, the warmth of the beef. It helps the flavors come together. Don't rush and don't overwork it. The gentler you are, the softer your patties will be. Now take one medium sweet potato and cut it into small wedges. Neat, even pieces, so they roast evenly. Sweet potatoes have that lovely natural sweetness, and they're packed with fiber and vitamins A and C, making this meal both colorful and nourishing. Every slice releases that earthy scent, and it feels almost therapeutic, like cooking something that's good for both body and soul. Transfer the wedges to a bowl. Slice one yellow bell pepper into long, thin strips. Its sunny color and light sweetness always make me smile. I love how yellow peppers brighten a dish, both in flavor and in spirit. And they're full of antioxidants that help support healthy eyes. Add the strips to the bowl with the sweet potato. Then slice one red bell pepper. Red peppers are the most flavorful of them all. Rich, a little smoky, with that full-bodied sweetness that deepens as they roast. They're loaded with vitamin C too, so they don't just taste good, they do you good. I always pair red and yellow peppers together, not just for the colors, but because their flavors dance together so beautifully. Add the red pepper to the bowl. Drizzle everything with olive oil. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon of paprika. And 1 teaspoon of oregano. As you toss the vegetables with your hands or a spatula, you can feel the oil and spices start to coat every piece. The paprika brings a cozy warmth. The oregano adds that earthy Mediterranean aroma. And together, they make roasted vegetables taste like pure comfort. The colors deepen. The scent turns rich and inviting. It already feels like dinner. Transfer the vegetables onto a baking tray. Slide the tray into a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius, and let them roast for about 25 to 30 minutes. While the vegetables are roasting, heat a pan with a drizzle of olive oil over medium heat. Shape the beef mixture into medium-sized patties, keeping your hands slightly damp so the mixture doesn't stick. There's something almost peaceful about this part. Place the patties into the pan and listen to that first sizzle. That's flavor forming right there. Cook them for 4 to 5 minutes on each side until they turn golden brown. This part always reminds me of family dinners. We'd stand together in the kitchen, shaping patties and laughing about our day. Such a simple step, but it somehow makes the meal feel personal, warm, and shared. Once both sides are browned, check that the patties are cooked through but still juicy. Don't crowd the pan. Give them space to sear and build that perfect flavorful crust. Add 4 pineapple rings that you've already patted dry with a paper towel to remove any extra juice. Add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix everything gently, just enough to coat each slice in that sweet and spicy glaze. Heat a pan with a little olive oil. Lay the pineapple rings down. As they cook for 2 to 3 minutes on each side, the sugar caramelizes, and the air fills with this warm tropical aroma, sweet and tangy with just a whisper of spice. When the vegetables are ready, take them out of the oven. Use tongs to transfer them into a baking dish, spreading them evenly across the bottom. They're golden, glistening, and full of color. Arrange the cooked patties on top, nestling them gently among the roasted vegetables. The dish now looks like something out of a family cookbook. Combine 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of mustard, 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Grate 1 clove of garlic on a mini grater. That gentle heat from the garlic brings everything to life. And add it in. Next, add half a teaspoon of paprika. Whisk until it's silky and light, just the right balance of sweet and tangy. This kind of sauce ties the whole dish together. It's simple, but it makes everything feel a little more special. Brush each patty generously with the sauce, letting it soak in for a moment so the flavors settle into the meat. Then place a caramelized pineapple ring right on top, the soft sweetness of the fruit meeting the savory beef underneath. Grate about 3 ounces, or 90 grams, of cheddar cheese. As you work, notice that rich, nutty aroma filling the air. Cheddar's sharpness cuts through the sweetness of the pineapple perfectly, keeping every bite balanced. Sprinkle the cheese generously over the pineapple. Slide the dish back into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius until everything melts and bubbles together. When the dish is ready, take it carefully out of the oven. The cheese has melted into a golden, bubbling layer. The pineapple edges have turned slightly caramelized, and the aroma that fills the room is pure comfort. Slice into one patty. The beef inside is soft and juicy, the pineapple sweet and glossy, and underneath, those roasted vegetables add a cozy depth. It's colorful, heartwarming, and perfect for serving to family or friends around the table. The kind of meal that invites everyone to slow down and enjoy the moment. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. I hope this recipe brings warmth and joy to your table. But don't go just yet. There's another cozy and tasty recipe I'd love to share with you. Take 2 chicken breasts and slice each one lengthwise into 3 even pieces. This way, they'll cook evenly and roll up beautifully later. I love working with chicken. It's such a versatile ingredient, mild enough to let other flavors shine, but hearty enough to make any meal satisfying. It's lean, full of protein, and a wonderful base for building something comforting and delicious. Lay the chicken pieces flat on a cutting board. Cover them with a layer of plastic wrap. This keeps things tidy while we tenderize. Take a meat mallet or rolling pin and gently pound each piece, just enough to make it even and soft. You can hear that light, rhythmic sound as you work. That's the sound of tender chicken in the making. Once you've finished the first side, peel back the plastic, sprinkle on a bit of salt and pepper, and rub it in gently. Seasoning as you go really builds up the layers of flavor. And that's what makes simple food taste so good. Now flip each piece over and repeat. A few gentle taps to tenderize, a sprinkle of salt and pepper to balance it out. Working both sides like this ensures that the meat cooks evenly and stays tender all the way through. You can already imagine how juicy and flavorful these will be once they're done. Take a few slices of ham and cut them in half, thin, delicate layers that will melt right into the chicken as it cooks. Lay 2 pieces of ham neatly on each chicken fillet, creating that perfect salty, savory layer that's about to meet something just a little bit sweet. It's the kind of balance that turns simple ingredients into something memorable, warm, homey, and deeply satisfying. Take a few canned pineapple rings and cut them in half, then slice each piece into cheerful little half moons. The sweet, tangy pineapple instantly brightens up the chicken. That mix of savory and tropical is one of my all-time favorites. It always takes me back to those family dinners when my mom would add a touch of something unexpected. Lay a slice of pineapple over the ham, the colors already looking so inviting. Now, carefully roll up each piece of chicken, tucking in the ham and pineapple inside, and secure it with a toothpick or a bit of kitchen twine. This is where the magic really starts. Those neat little rolls already promise something comforting and full of flavor, like the kind of dish that fills the house with warmth and gathers everyone around the table. Take a pack of bacon and wrap each chicken roll with a single slice, overlapping slightly so the bacon hugs it snugly. The bacon not only crisps up beautifully in the oven, it seals in all the juices and gives that irresistible smoky edge. As you work, the smell of bacon starts to fill your mind. That cozy, nostalgic scent of weekend mornings when the whole house felt warm and safe. Bacon has a way of turning any meal into something a little extra special, doesn't it? Lightly grease a baking dish with a touch of olive oil. Spreading it evenly with a brush or paper towel until it glistens. Nestle the bacon-wrapped rolls in a single layer, giving them a little space so they brown evenly. Slide the dish into a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius, and let them bake for about 20 minutes, just until the bacon is golden and crisp. While the chicken bakes, fill a large pot with water. Bring it to a boil. Sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of salt and give it a stir. That tiny step seasons the pasta from within. Once the bubbles roll, add half a pound or about 250 grams of your favorite pasta and cook it just until tender. In a salad bowl, add a handful of fresh arugula. Then, slice 12 to 15 cherry tomatoes in half, their sweet juice bursting with color. They always remind me of summer picnics and picking tomatoes straight from the garden, with sticky fingers and sunlight on the leaves. Toss them in with the arugula. Take a crisp cucumber and peel it. That fresh, clean scent is like a breath of cool air. Cut it into thin rings. The crunch will bring life to every bite. Cucumber is full of water, light on calories, and rich in antioxidants that are wonderful for the skin. Truly nature's refreshment. Add the slices to the bowl. Next, slice half a bell pepper. Its bright color and sweet aroma lift the whole salad. Bell peppers are full of vitamin C and antioxidants that strengthen your immune system and keep your skin glowing, which makes them a favorite of mine. Every time I slice one, that fresh, slightly sweet scent brings me back to summers in my childhood, when we'd pick peppers straight from the garden and eat them right there in the sun, still warm from the day's heat. Add the slices to the bowl. Cut half a red onion into thin strips. Its mild sweetness adds balance and a little sparkle to the flavors. Red onions, too, are full of antioxidants and have gentle anti-inflammatory properties, which makes them not only delicious but good for you. Sprinkle the onion over the salad. Now, spoon in 2 tablespoons of Philadelphia cream cheese. For the dressing, whisk together 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of mustard. As you whisk, the smell of lemon and oregano blends into that Mediterranean freshness that makes any salad come alive. Pour it over the vegetables and toss everything gently until the leaves are lightly coated and glistening. When the pasta is ready, drain the water. Drop in a 1/4 stick, or about 30 grams, of butter. Now grate about 6 ounces, or 180 grams, of soft cheese. As the shreds fall, the aroma instantly fills the kitchen. It always reminds me of family dinners when someone would grate cheese right at the table, the scent wrapping around everyone like a hug. Add half of the cheese to the pasta and stir. Next, grate 2 ounces, or about 60 grams of Parmesan cheese. That nutty, salty aroma always feels like something special. A little touch of celebration, whether it's a holiday meal or just a quiet Sunday dinner. Parmesan doesn't just add flavor, it's full of calcium and goodness, so there's comfort and care in every sprinkle. Add it to the pasta and give everything a good mix. The butter, the cheese, the warmth, coming together into one smooth, velvety bowl of happiness. Now, take the chicken rolls out of the oven. Sprinkle the remaining cheese over the top, just enough to blanket them with that final, irresistible layer. Slide the dish back into the oven for another 10 minutes. When everything's ready, take the chicken from the oven. The smell alone tells you it's perfect. Plate each roll beside a generous serving of creamy pasta and a handful of fresh salad. The combination is pure comfort. Juicy chicken wrapped in smoky bacon, tender pasta laced with butter and cheese, and the crisp freshness of vegetables tying it all together. I hope it brings the same joy and togetherness to your home as it always brings to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. Until next time, happy cooking!